What up, people? So I feel like I gotta kind of like force this out. There's a lot of shit going on around me, and I was just recording it, and somebody interrupted. So I'm just gonna fucking force it. Okay, I'm gonna force it the fuck out. I'll be a little bit extreme here, explain this shit. Okay, so it's a relevant concept to our time, and really, I think all of human history. Okay, it's super fucking relevant. So please listen. Okay, it's been said that humanity, first of all, was genetically modified from kind of these upright monkeys that existed on the planet before modern civilized humans did. Okay, there's stuff that suggests that there's like Sumerian tablets. There's also a jump in the fossil record. We went from being basically upright, hairy monkey hominins to these relatively modern humans in no time. And a lot of people, there's also this, like I said, Sumerian tablets that kind of talk about that. Okay, so it's highly possible that is really what's going on. Why humans were modified, I have no idea. I'm not even speculating on that, but it's very highly possible that we were genetically modified. Okay, that's number one. Number two, it's been said that humans might have been taught civilization. Okay, and if we were genetically modified by, let's say, aliens or something, then maybe those same aliens took it upon themselves to teach us civilization. So here's where this is relevant. So there's a saying that goes that you should not tear down a fence unless you know why it was built in the first place. Okay, and when we're taught civilization, it's kind of like discipline. You teach your kids, don't do this, don't do that. Like, don't do that. And if you don't explain why you're not supposed to do certain things, if you don't explain why you're not supposed to do certain things, then your kids might be curious enough to just try it anyway. If you don't explain that, jumping out a window could lead to your death, your kid might be like, well, why can't I do that? Unless they might be curious enough to try to figure it out. So they might explore beyond the boundaries that you set. Okay, and so with civilization, it's kind of the same thing. Civilization might have been taught to humans, said don't do this, act this way, act right, and maybe even religion plays a part in that. Like with the morals that religion teaches, and talking about karma, and if you do bad, you'll freaking go to hell, stuff like that. It could have something to do with that. Okay, but a lot of that stuff is probably, like I said, a fence that was built there for a reason. You should not tear down those fences unless you know why they were built in the first place. But a lot of people, I think, kind of like discipline your kids, say don't do this, don't do that. They might be like, they might not know why they were told not to do that, and they might go off and just go right past their fence and explore into unknown. They might even tear down the fence and say, there's no reason not to do that. Let's all just do that. And the consequences of doing certain things might not be obvious right off the bat. The consequences of certain things might not have a direct effect on you, but overall in society, if people just decide to quit, acting with a certain level of civility, et cetera, it might not affect you personally. You could be selfish and you look, there's nothing wrong. I could do this all day. Nothing's happened to me. I'm fine. But if everybody starts doing that, the overall fucking, stability of society starts falling apart. So what I'm trying to say here is that we're probably taught civility. Humans were probably taught civility. There's a lot of evidence that suggests that. Okay, you go study old ancient texts and stuff and get with that stuff. Okay. Emerald Tablets talks about it. Sumerian tablets, I think, they said that they created humans as a slave race. At least that's what people's translations of it say. A lot of stuff like that. Old history kind of suggests that we might have been taught civilization. And there's probably things that they said, just don't do this, don't do that. And they probably even put religion there to be like, okay, you're going to go to hell if you do this. They're probably really trying to get you to not do certain things, because if you did those things, if people start doing those things, they knew that society would fall apart. They know, though, they built fences for a reason. And we should not tear down those fences unless we know why they're built. And that's the thing. It's like, you could tear down a fence and, you could live fine for 100 days. Nothing happens. 100 days later, that's when the freaking wild animals start coming in. That's when it starts going, And I think that's what we see happening today. I think we see a situation today where people are starting to just, oh look, we could just do this. It don't matter. I could be selfish. I could be uncivil. I can, look, YOLO, me, selfishness. I can do what I want. It doesn't really. People are starting to be more selfish and not care about how it's affecting the overall state of humanity. Selfishness all over the fucking place. And that is a recipe for disaster. It might not affect you directly, immediately, but if everybody starts doing that, the whole thing's gonna fall apart. It's like, like certain material has certain atomic structure where like the molecules like attract each other and stuff. It's kind of like if you switch the polarity of all those molecules to like repel each other, it just crumbles into fucking non-existence. To individual atoms just poof disappear. And that's kind of what like selfishness is. When we live by certain principles, we hold together like a community, like society. Okay, when we turn our polarity into selfishness, it just dissipates into nothingness. That is not good. That's not good at all. Okay, so hopefully you see what I'm saying here. We're like taught civilization. Certain fences were built. We might not have been taught why we're not supposed to do certain things, and maybe they just tried to scare us into not breaking certain rules because you would go to hell or this or that, whatever it might be. You'll be reincarnated as a bug or this or that, and so we were working pretty well for a while. But I think now we're like, hey, like we're getting curious, like curious little kids, man. Why can't I do that? I don't think I'm actually gonna go to hell. I think they're lying to me. Let's venture out here into the wilderness. Like let's tear down. We can do this. It doesn't matter. We don't need this fence. Knock it down. But you're not seeing. You like I said, you can knock down the fence. You're good for a while, and then eventually those wild animals are gonna come rushing in. That you don't tear down a fence unless you know why it's there in the first place. And I hope you see what I'm saying here. Yes, it's all fucking metaphorical. I don't need to explain that it's a metaphor. Okay. I see selfishness. I see people changing the polarity of it all. People are doing things that I think we all know intuitively is wrong, but we're like, look, nothing's happening. We're thinking people are thinking selfishly, and I see this. I try to stay to, because I intuitively know it's wrong. I'm like, dude, I know. This ain't about me. This is about everybody. I'm not gonna act like a piece of shit because I know other people will start acting like a piece of shit, and then the whole thing is gonna just fall apart. I know that, and I try to play by like fair rules. And there's these rules, these unspoken rules of civilization. Like I think we were taught and we had carried on for generation after generation. I think now we're coming to this point where everybody's being very fucking selfish and very stupid and careless, and it's going to fucking destroy this whole fucking thing. That's not fucking good. I'm trying to tell you right now, that's a fucking warning. And hopefully this concept is enough to explain that shit to you. Like I said, we're probably taught civilization. They probably fucking scared us with fucking afterlife, fucking punishment, blah, 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 if we did wrong. And I worked for so long, and now, we're getting a little bit curious, but let's not fucking tear down these fences. You know what I'm saying? There's things that we do, civility, that holds this shit together, that allowed us to even get here. If we all of a sudden say, hey, look, we can do this, everybody's getting selfish and doing stupid shit, dude, you don't see the consequence immediately. Man, it's so serious, dude. I'm so serious right now. I'm trying to, so serious. So this is the human drama, okay? This is humanity. Sumerian tablets were like 16,000 years ago, something like that. That's not even that long of a time, to be honest, okay? And we've progressed pretty substantially. We got technology coming and everything. The last like 200 years, it's been like rapid progress, okay? And technology, the way that, we're able to live relatively easily. We can, which is another thing we have to deal with. Some people could just sit in their house all day and make a living off of the computer, never interact with anybody, you know what I mean? And, but we have to be mindful of the overall, health of society, regardless of what technology comes about, whatever, you know what I mean? We have to be mindful, and there's intuitive things. There's like just a sense of it all. Like we just have like an intuitive sense of right and wrong, you know what I mean? And we cannot violate those things. We know it deep down. Yeah, maybe it doesn't affect you individually. You say, oh, look, I can do it. No problem. Look, see? They said don't do this. Look, I'm good. yeah, for a couple minutes until other people start doing it, and then da 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 da, and it's very dumb. It's very dumb, and I hope that this does some type of job to get that through to people. I don't know. I can't force people to listen to what I say. I can't force people to care. I hope it's just, I would think that it's relevant enough to your life that you can see the dangers enough to understand its importance on your own, enough to care on your own. Yeah, man, it's just so freaking relevant. I think literally it's kind of like that discipline when you're a little kid. Like, you're taught certain things, don't do this, don't do that. And like, if you want to be the little kid who's just, explorative, you might end up doing certain things that you're told not to do, and then you find out the hard way. And I really think it's a good, like, don't tear down the fences until you know why they're built in the first place. You can peer over the edge and say, just look over it, but don't tear it down. Don't tear it down. You know what I'm saying? Let us continue to operate with these basic principles of civilization that we were taught, that our parents taught us, that were passed down for generations, and probably taught to us a long time ago as a brand new species, possibly from aliens that learned the hard way. Who knows? Who knows? There could be all types of aliens coming through and teaching us stuff all the time, and they could be watching us right now, and maybe we have developed so far that now they're kind of staying out of business. We got atomic bombs, we're like, let's not mess with them, and they're just hoping that we do good. They taught us way back when and set us up, and now they're just hoping we succeed, man. And I'm hoping we it's so crazy. Yeah, but really I just see a lot of selfishness that's happening these days, and I see what it's doing. It's like I said, the switch of the polarity is turning. It's going to make the entire structure just repel itself and just dissipate into like nothingness, and we don't need that. We don't need that at all. There's certain basic principles of civility that we've lived upon for our whole human existence, really. And I think it's pretty. And there's also just natural instincts we have for being social and stuff. So I think we should work with that, But yeah, definitely don't want to violate those natural principles that hold society together. Otherwise, it's going to fucking disappear into nothingness. And we don't want that. So that being said, hopefully that's a good explanation. I see it, man. I see these people not thinking about that. They're not thinking. They're tearing down fences. They're not thinking. They're just jumping. They're just, oh look, there ain't nothing wrong with that. We can do this all day. Everybody's thinking that's cool. No, it's not, dude. It's not. It's not at all. I see I see the danger y'all don't see. I see what you don't see. Okay. Well, I guess I'm gonna leave it at that. Hopefully it's helpful. Hope these messages, like, I'm telling you, this is like so relevant to our time. It's like I see a rapid kind of disintegration, like I'm talking about, dude. And I mean, you can change the polarity back and you can kind of recoagulate, maybe, But yeah, I see like a rapid situation. Like, I'm 29. When I was young, it was relatively normal. It was literally like within the last 10 years, I've seen like a rapid kind of disintegration, like I'm talking about. I feel it. It's like rapid. As soon as that polarity changes, it just poofs into nothingness. And I see it happen right now, dude. It's dangerous. We gotta stick to, like I said, common sense principles of civility. So that being said, I'm gonna leave it at that. Share this video, talk about it, go tell your friends. Pretend you made this up yourself and tell your friends, and you sound like a genius. Anyway, I'm gonna leave it at that. Thank you guys for listening. Yeah, man, I just hope this word gets out, man, for real, because it's important stuff. So I'm out.